Hey, Eddie. What are you doing here?
Nothing, Romy, just watching you sleep.
Why?
Makes me feel, peaceful. Please.
I can't sleep now.
Oh, you want me to sing?
Look, that's it. It's over. I want you out. I want you out of the apartment now.
Whoa, what are you talking about?
How freaked out would you be? Roommate horror stories don't just happen in college. In fact, it's sometimes harder to put up with a roommate when you're away from the dorm scene.
That's true. Amy Zalneraitis is the author of a book called Room for Improvement, the post-college girl's guide to roommate living. She's here with advice on keeping the peace when you share a living space.
Hey, Amy, this is not always easy to do, is it?
It's not easy at all, especially after college, I think, because you're just much more set in your beliefs and ways than you are in college.
Yeah, and you kind of know what you want. You've
Right,
already
exactly.
done the dorm thing.
Right.
So I guess the important thing to do is to start by picking the right person, right? So
Right.
how do we do that?
I think getting to know someone before moving in with them, hanging out with them, not just having, you know, a question and answer session, but really hanging out in social situations.
A lot of people, the only thing they know about the person they're going to go live with is the ad they read in the newspaper about
which
them.
is probably a lie or an exaggeration. You know, everyone's trying to make themselves seem better than they are, so.
It's funny because I think in your book you talk about single white female.
Yes.
And that was like a scary
movie.
Scary movie, but you say that people that crazy don't actually exist. That's the myth. And the truth is people do actually exist that are that crazy.
Right, especially in cities like New York or, you know, major cosmopolitan cities, you're going to encounter a lot of crazy people.
So how do you figure that out? Like if you're moving to New York, say from Philadelphia, you don't know anybody there, and you want to make sure it's a good match, what do you do?
Well, I think you just have to meet a lot of different people and really get to know them. It's like, you know.
So take a trip to actually meet.
Right, and it's like a marriage. You have to date first. You know, if you're moving in with someone, it's a huge commitment. So.
And is it best to find people that are similar to you or different so you can have
similar
different...
enough, but not so you have to be hanging out all the time. Sometimes moving in with a best friend can be a disaster because it's just too much time spent together all the time.
And what kind of questions should you ask? I mean, what are the important ones?
I think, you know, what happened to your last roommate? Are you still friends? You know, do you party a lot? Just to sort of see if you're on the same page in that way.
Okay.
And if that person already has a roommate and they're looking for a third?
Well, I think 3 girls living together is a recipe for the most extreme forms of cattiness. So you have to be careful because 2 girls will build solidarity by ganging up on the third, and there's always an outsider. So I think any number is better than 3.
That really does happen. I mean, even in friendships and especially in the roommate situation.
Yeah, right.
2 people are going to be like, hey, did you see what Lori left in the refrigerator? Right, exactly. And the funny thing is you talk about, I'm looking at the cover of your book, and there's the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Does that become an issue when you have roommates?
Food is definitely, you know, sharing food or eating things that someone left behind that they didn't want you to eat. You know, prepackaged meals are always like no-nos or entire Subway subs. I've had roommates do that to me before. So when you go to the refrigerator expecting to have something there and it's not there, it can definitely cause arguments.
Serious tension. And even for our young people that may be heading off to college and that sort of thing, what do you do? Do you label?
I mean, you don't want to start doing that because that's just pretty passive-aggressive. I think you just have to nip it in the bud in the beginning and say, listen, I was really looking forward to having that peanut butter when I came home, and now that it's all gone, I was pretty disappointed. So.
Yes.
Some people come to the room or the roommate situation with pets, too. Is that a good idea?
No, it's never a good idea to have pets because inevitably the roommate ends up taking care of it at some point or another. So.
And what about the cleaning situation, whether it's cleaning up after pets or yourself or your roommate?
I think you have to really create a cleaning schedule because otherwise one person is always doing more than the other. So it's really important.
Definitely a list.
Yeah, a list and just make sure that everyone's keeping up with their responsibilities.
Now, when we're talking about girls, chances are some of them may have boyfriends.
Yes.
How does that play into the
I think
amount
you have
of
to be
time
careful
spent?
Because a boyfriend, you know, while you forget because you love having him around all the time, your roommates most likely don't enjoy his company as much as you do. So if he's over 5 nights a week and he's not paying rent, it will definitely cause some animosity.
And the desire to throw parties from time to time might get a little out of control for some people.
Yes, definitely. And you know, your idea of fun is probably, it might not be the same as your roommate's idea. So, you know, if you're having swinging from the rafters parties every week, chances are she's not going to be that thrilled with it, especially if it's after college when we have jobs we have to wake up for and many more responsibilities than we did in college.
Were you
So.
successful in your post-college roommate
I
hunt?
had lots of nightmare stories, which is it was the reason I wrote this book. And I found that my girlfriends and I would spend so much time venting about, the problems, more than anything else, more than boyfriend problems, more than jobs. We would spend so much time because it was cathartic almost to, talk
Let it
about
out.
Yeah. So definitely had some nightmare stories, which are all documented in detail in the book.
And
so.
hopefully that'll help people figure out what they can avoid when looking for a roommate. You're actually going to have a book signing coming up on Saturday, April 26th from 12 to 3 at Pledge Boutique. So yeah, come on out, check out this new book, Room for Improvement, The Post-College Girl's Guide to Roommate Living.
And share your roommate disasters with Amy. Thank you, Amy.
You'll feel better.
We'll be right back.